Hey everybody, Dr. Dan here, and today I want to talk to you about scholarship. So, scholarship can be really easy, but it can be really hard at the same time. So, I've been talking to colleagues at several different universities, and I've been working with graduate students who are embarking on the dissertation, and people just get overwhelmed with this idea of a new scholarly project or new research, and it's easy to get overwhelmed because scholarship can be difficult. But the more passionate you are about what you're doing and the more curious you are, the easier it is. So for me, on my projects, it's pretty easy because I'm pretty curious. I'm a pretty curious guy. So, whether I'm working on a new book, I'm trying to get something else published, I'm working on perhaps a new educational design to do some educational research, generally I find something that I'm into. And once I'm into it, once I have that curiosity driving me and that passion, then it's real easy. But one of the problems is right now, especially if you're a teacher in the field, scholarship sometimes becomes mandated. Like, hey, you have to spend 10% of your time on scholarship. And for those of us that are teaching all the time, we get stuck in this cycle of teach, grade, teach, repeat. And, we got to go home to the kids, we have bills to pay, we have the house, and thinking about embarking on a new 300-page research project that contributes to the field and that's meaningful is totally overwhelming. So what happens is we freeze up and we don't do anything. And that's sort of typical. I've seen that time and time again. But scholarship can be easy if you sort of break it down. So in education, we talk about chunking all the time, this idea of small, digestible parts for learning. And really, for research and scholarship, it's the same thing. All you really need is some sort of variable and a grade, some data you can measure by. So maybe if you're teaching full-time and you don't have access to the lab, you don't have access to the archives to get in and put this new narrative together, the classroom's the perfect place to do some scholarship. A simple change in the way you teach your class. In other words, maybe you're going to eliminate your midterm and you're going to have a series of low-stakes quizzes in a class. And then once you do that, you can see how grades are affected. You can compare a class that did low-stakes quizzes to a class that did a big substantive test and see how the grades change. Perhaps you're going to break your students into groups that are debating if you're in a humanities class, or perhaps you're going to break your lab into different kinds of groups and they're going to come up with independent research projects. Once you change your course design, then you can observe how it changes learning outcomes for students, how assessment changes in those courses. That's scholarship. And what I find is sometimes those are dead ends. Sometimes they don't seem like they're meaningful. But other times, you start to get in this what-if mode. And that starts to build this curiosity and builds this passion. And there's a definite correlation with how curious you are and how easy that scholarship is. The more you're into it, the easier it becomes. So don't be overwhelmed when someone says, hey, you need to do scholarship, that you have to do a 300-page book. You can get data from simple changes in your course, perhaps, simple changes in your lab, simple changes in your clinicals, and then you can start to write up the results. It doesn't have to be a 200-page dissertation. You can easily publish a 15 or 20-page paper in a peer-reviewed journal that can contribute to the field in big ways. So scholarship can be difficult, but it can be easy too if you look at it the right way. It takes passion, it takes curiosity, and don't think you have to change the world at the first shot. Start small, measure something, and move on from there. That's it for today. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.